Yo, what's good, YouTube? It's your boy Ty Johnny back with another live video reaction, whatever you want to call it. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit that post notification bell to see more of me. And we all gonna eat as a family, as the great words of Ace Boogie goes. Everybody eats B. If you're new to the channel, we give you 5 seconds to sub up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you're not subbed up, I'm gonna find you anyway and sub up. So I appreciate you for subbing up. I don't care if you're Australia, Antarctica, Argentina, Chile. I'm gonna find you and sub up, man. So don't try to hide. Don't try to hide in your house when you hear me kick down the door. I'm like, it's Ty Johnny. You better sub up. It's gonna be me. But on a serious note, today we got a good video today. And also, if you're new to the channel, I react to sports and music mainly. But anything you put in that comment section below, to be honest, I'll react to. Today we got Pippen versus Jordan, the saddest beef in NBA history. But yeah, I don't understand why these guys beefing, but. Well, I got a gist of like what I think it is, but I don't know what the context of the video is. I just think Scotty wanted to be more like Jordan or have Jordan's role. But you know, things happen the way they're supposed to happen, Scotty.
That Michael Jordan would be as successful without you?
No. In 2009, when Michael Jordan entered the Basketball Hall of Fame, the first person he mentioned.
Do y'all think that's true though? If Michael Jordan had Scotty, he wouldn't be as successful. If he had another great defender, or he played with anybody else that was just as good as Scottie Pippen, he would have got 6 rings without losing. It's a real question I have for y'all.
And thanked was Scottie Pippen.
You never just saw me, saw Scottie Pippen.
Next year, it was Michael who presented Scotty to the Hall of Fame. When Pippen worked on ESPN and had to do a LeBron versus Jordan comparison, Pippen said this.
And there's no game that I would ever play in and pick LeBron James over Michael Jordan.
But this was in 2018, when Scotty and Michael's relationship seemed like the happiest marriages. While Jordan was known to be a harsh teammate, who bullied players and even punched Steve Kerr in the face, we never heard those kinds of stories about Scotty. And then came the pandemic, and the sporting world stopped.
He has just tweeted within the past 2 minutes that the NBA is suspending the season.
Deprived of anything to cheer for, Netflix offered a 10-episode salvation for all sports fans. It was The Last Dance, a long-awaited documentary about the last season of the Bulls dynasty, with behind-the-scenes footage nobody had ever seen before. And when the documentary came out, that's when Scotty's and Michael Jordan's relationship started to change. See, The Last Dance wasn't really a basketball documentary. It was more like basketball was just a means to an end, and where historic NBA events were used to tell a preset narrative. And that narrative was to glorify the cult of Michael Jordan and his place as the basketball GOAT. The Last Dance presented basketball in a way that can be understood by non-basketball fans and casuals. It was directed in a way that puts an individual over a team, which is not surprising, considering that director Jason Hare needed Jordan's approval to make the film, and that Jordan's presence in the film was conditioned by his control over the content. The Last Dance minimized the roles of Jordan's teammates, not properly explaining that MJ had by far the best supporting cast in the NBA. The documentary never mentioned that Steve Kerr was the most accurate three-point shooter of all time, that Horace Grant made 4 all-defensive teams, or that Tony Kukoc was the best European player and the most versatile power forward in the NBA. The doc barely mentioned a defensive ace Ron Harper, and they completely failed to say a single thing about center Luke Longley. Dennis Rodman got a lot of screen time, but much less as the best rebounder in NBA history, and more of a party animal that Jordan needed to drag by the ears from Carmen Electra's hotel room. But the player who was most heard about the whole thing was Scottie Pippen, and it's not hard to see why.
I had a ruptured tendon in my ankle, and I decided to have surgery late because I was like, you know what? I'm not going to put my summer up trying to rehab for a season.
Scottie Pippen of the Bulls will be out for 2 to 3 months.
What Scottie was trying to do was trying to force management to change his contract. And Jerry wasn't going to do that.
MJ called out Pippen as being selfish for delaying surgery.
AI can now build a website.
I low-key agree though. I mean, you could have got the surgery. You said you didn't want to mess up your summer. That's why you didn't get the surgery. You worry about summer more than the league, bro. Let's get to these. I don't know what happened this specific season or what season it was that happened, but that was low-key selfish. I'm not going cap, Scotty. And also, The Last Dance is messed up for not including Ron Harper. I don't know how. I don't think Luke. Y'all might go crazy on me, but was Luke Longley even that good? Like, come on, let's be real. Like every time I see Luke Longley, I don't think Jordan ever had. He always had the LeBron syndrome, basically, when it comes to they never have a great center on their team. It's always like the greatest forward or big man Michael Jordan has had was Dennis Rodman, and he is very great. But where does he rank amongst the top 10 power forwards of all time? He might be in top 10, but I'm just saying, like, y'all know what I'm trying to say, man. Y'all know.
Jordan was making $33 million, while Scottie was earning just $2.7 million. While the second episode of the documentary did center around Scottie and his unbelievably hard road to the NBA, in the end, the focus of the narrative quickly returned to MJ. And despite being so Jordan-centric, The Last Dance was a successful project because it achieved 3 goals. It managed to entertain and occupy the sports world in the biggest absence of sports since the 1860s. It served as a nostalgia for the people who lived through the Bulls dynasty, and it revitalized the interest in Jordan among the younger generations. If we look at the doc as an entertaining story for the masses, The Last Dance absolutely killed and knocked it out of the park. But in terms of explaining basketball nuances and strengthening relationships between the Bulls players, The Last Dance backfired completely. In May 2020, after the last episode aired, Jordan sent a rare text to Scottie Pippen. "What's up, dude? I'm getting a word that you're upset with me. Love to talk about it if you have time." Pippen did call him back and explained his displeasure with how the rest of the Bulls were portrayed. When asked about it, Scottie backtracked a little bit. "This documentary has not changed our relationship. We will be friends forever. I told Michael I wasn't too pleased with The Last Dance. He accepted it. He said, 'Hey, you're right.' That was pretty much it. But it wasn't it, and this comment aged badly really quickly." In 2021, Pippen started to unravel his feelings about Jordan, issuing a series of comments during the promotion of his autobiography titled Unguarded. Scottie told a story about how Jordan used to cheat him out of $100 during each Bulls game by bribing the staff to tell him who was going to win Jumbotron races. During a GQ interview, Pip accused Jordan of being selfish for leaving the Bulls to pursue a baseball career.
What did you think when he said he was...
That was also very selfish by Michael Jordan. So they both making selfish decisions. Him going to the league, I don't care if you felt like you was the greatest, bro. You achieved everything. You could have achieved more. You just left Scottie alone, bro, and the whole team.
He's going to go play baseball.
But if we go based off the second theory, which is, or this conspiracy that he had to leave because of his pops, so there's 2 theories. It's the one that he left because his pop passed and he wanted to play baseball for his pops. But there's another theory, basically, that he was gambling and that's what that's why that happened to his pops. I don't know which one is true. I mind my business. I'm just a spectator. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, if it's based off the second one, then I understand. But the first one, you were selfish.
Yeah, it was a big decision, but it was a selfish decision, but it was kind of who Michael Jordan was.
Implying that he spent too much time grieving the death of his father. Scottie also downplayed Jordan's flu game, saying that he didn't receive any praise for playing the 1998 finals with a herniated disc. But the biggest criticism about Jordan the player was when Pippen said that the Bulls didn't win 6 rings because of MJ, and that they did it in spite of him. Seeing again how poorly Michael treated his teammates, I cringed, as I did back then. We didn't win 6 championships because he was tough with the guys. We won in spite of his bullying. We won because we played team basketball, which hadn't been the case my first 2 seasons when Doug Collins was our coach. In his book, Scottie also changed his perspective on the LeBron versus Jordan debate. I may go as far as to say Mike ruined basketball. In the 80s on the playgrounds, you'd have everyone moving the ball around, passing to help the team. That stopped in the 90s. Kids wanted to be like Mike, and Mike didn't want to pass, didn't want to rebound, or defend the best player. He wanted everything done for him. That's why I always believed LeBron James was the greatest player this game has ever seen. He does everything and embodies what the game is.
Now he's just lying because he's in his feelings, bro. This man, he does do a lot, but he doesn't do everything. LeBron does the same thing Michael Jordan does. He wants other people to do it for. If you gonna hold Michael Jordan to that standard, you gotta hold Bron to the same exact standard. And Jordan is all. You may have did that when you got there, Scottie, but we know when you was getting cooked, who was going on him, bro. All right. Bro, don't do that, Scott.
Really about.
Don't do that.
The rest of the book was even more critical about Jordan and The Last Dance, saying that every episode was the same. Michael on a pedestal, his teammates secondary, referred to as his supporting cast. Michael could shoot 6 for 24 from the field, commit 5 turnovers, and he was still, in the minds of the adoring press and public, the errorless Jordan. Scotty was also pissed that Jordan received $10 million for his involvement in the documentary, while he and the rest of the Bulls got nothing. Pip wasn't done there.
That's crazy work. Even though we all know Michael Jordan is the main reason why people was watching the Bulls, if we being realistic. Like Scotty, if you came there if Jordan wasn't there, Chicago wouldn't have been Chicago. Chicago is Chicago when Jordan was there without you, bro. People was looking at Michael Jordan like, this guy is the guy. I don't know if that would have happened if you was there, Scotty. Second, Jordan, that was super selfish, bro. You could have even got the $10 million yourself and then broke people off. You know, you should have definitely broke Scotty off. Could have gave at least everybody something, bro. And then don't forget, you got your own whole, bro. You got money already, bro. You could have just broke people off.
Put it on Phil Jackson during an interview with Dan Patrick.
No, I understand that, Scotty. I'm just going by what you said. You said you need to read between the fine lines. It was a racial move to give Tony Kukoc a rod.
So, I mean, if you knew that Scottie Pippen had been with the Bulls from 87, wouldn't you give Scottie Pippen one opportunity to get a last-second shot without Michael Jordan?
But have you talked to Phil about this? Because by saying a racial move, then you're calling Phil a racist.
I don't got a problem with that.
Scotty took shots at Charles Barkley, calling him not dedicated enough to win a title, and Isaiah Thomas, whom he called a dirty player. However, while we do agree that The Last Dance was overly centered on Jordan, and that there is a lot of truth in Pippen's words about the documentary, we can't escape the feeling that Scotty overreacted. In the doc, MJ still said there is no Jordan without Pippen. The Last Dance covered how underpaid Pippen was, and his success as the leader of the Bulls without Jordan. Phil Jackson called Scotty the second best player in the league, and the doc mentioned Pippen guarding Magic in the '91 finals instead of Jordan, a key moment that turned the series around. So for Scotty to be going on this kind of media rampage, it just feels like a bit too much. We understand that it's hard to be the Robin to Jordan's Batman and live constantly in his shadow, and then relive that all over again in the documentary. But after the dust settled and all the insults had landed, it sounds like Pippen was just trying to say outlandish quotes to sell more copies of his book. And throughout all of Pippen's badmouthing, Jordan never said another word publicly. There was no statement, trash talking, or even acknowledging that Pippen suddenly turned into his biggest hater. It was only a sign that all the bridges were burned and that their relationship was broken beyond repair. To add insult to injury, in 2022, MJ's son Marcus Jordan started dating Scotty's ex-wife, Larsa Pippen, which certainly didn't feel good for her ex-husband. Wherever Scotty looked, Jordan was sticking it to a Pippen, and it seems like his anger towards MJ will not stop anytime soon.
Loki seemed like a one-sided beef to me, if you ask me. The greatest draft class in NBA history. That might be one of them. I ain't gonna lie, this might be one of the greatest draft classes. But let me get back on subject. Yeah, this mostly seemed like Scotty got beef with Michael Jordan. I know Michael Jordan probably has his issues, but he's not responding. Like he's not worried about what Scottie Pippen is talking about is what it looks like basically. But that is crazy though. It was a lot of good information in this video about how they both was being selfish towards each other. But if we're being honest, bro, yes, it's no Jordan without Pippen. But Jordan would have still had a great career without Pippen. I don't know if Pippen would have been the second best player in the NBA without Jordan. I don't know. Jordan was already one of the greatest players in the league before Pippen was there. I don't know if Pippen would have did the same without Jordan. I don't know. That's my theory. But y'all let me know in the comment section how y'all feel about this, how y'all felt about this video, how you feel about the Jordan and Pippen beef. You know what I'm saying? This is the end of the video, though. I need y'all to do 3 things for me. Hit that like button, subscribe button, hit that post notification bell, comment something. And you also going to see more of me. And we all going to eat as a family. And I'm going to see y'all when I see y'all. I love you, y'all. I love you, y'all. It's crazy. I love y'all. Appreciate you made it to the end of this video. Peace.